Hi, friends. I wanted to jump on here and give you a quick note before you start this episode. So, unfortunately, when we recorded our episode of Gremlins, we were using a new recording system, and it definitely did not work in our favor. So, in this episode, you're going to hear some longer pauses. You're going to hear us talking over each other occasionally. And, even at the end of the episode, Geoff and Ben get cut off for the last 3 minutes, and it's just me talking. But I didn't want to scrap the episode entirely. I tried to salvage it as best as I could. So I hope that you enjoy this episode of Gremlins regardless.
Bond. James Bond.
In case I don't see you. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Did we just become best friends?
Yup! Sublime!
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Tear me apart, Lisa!
But mostly I hate the way I don't hate you. Not even close. Not even a little bit. Not even at all.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Another episode of You Haven't Seen That, a movie discussion podcast where we introduce our friend Ben to movies he should have seen a long time ago. I'm your host, Amanda.
Jeff.
And I'm Ben.
And today we are kicking off the holiday season and talking about Gremlins. Stick around until the end because we'll be giving our top 4 midnight snacks.
Gremlins. After receiving an exotic small animal as a Christmas gift, a young man inadvertently breaks 3 important rules concerning his new pet, which unleashes a horde of malevolently mischievous creatures on a small town. Released in June of 1984, the #1 song in the country, Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper. Bruce Springsteen had just released Born in the USA, and Tetris was first released in the Soviet Union. Now, for those listeners of ours that are catch on to things every single week, you're probably like, where have I heard those facts before? That's because this movie came out the exact same weekend as another movie we've recently done, Ghostbusters. So guess what, everybody? The facts are all the same. The #1 song is still the same. There we go. So
I don't even know that I would have caught that.
I'm lazy. I was like, you know what? I'll just reuse these.
I happen to be a Tetris master.
Bravo. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
super good at that game.
Do you have a trophy to prove it?
In my mind.
Well, then you're not a real Tetris master.
Amazing.
Show me the proof.
Someday. There'll be a bonus episode when we put our podcast behind like a Patreon or something someday, and we can reveal it there.
It's just us on Twitch. I'm just playing Tetris.
The real bonus content people come here for. Oh my gosh. So Gremlins, directed by Joe Dante and written by Chris Columbus of every holiday movie ever fame. And this movie was also co-produced by Steven Spielberg, as well as Kathleen Kennedy from Lucasfilm. This movie stars Zach Galligan, Phoebe Cates, Hoyt Axton, Francis Lee McCain, and Judge Reinhold, who you'll be seeing, spoiler alert, in another Christmas movie that we'll be covering on this podcast later on this month. With an $11 million budget, this movie ended up grossing $213 million at the global box office. Very, very successful release. This movie opened #2 to Ghostbusters, and that week it came out. And this movie finished #2 for the next 6 straight weeks, all behind Ghostbusters, and never could pass it at all, which, fair. And then at the end of the year, this movie finished as the #3 movie at the box office in 1984. So you could say that that weekend, June 6th, 7th, 8th, was the 1984 equivalent of Barbenheimer. Except
That's crazy.
I mean, sounds like it.
6 straight weeks of the same #1 and 2. I feel like, has that ever happened at any other time? That's kind of wild.
It's insane. Genuinely crazy. And incredibly impressive. And yeah, so Ghostbusters was the Barbie, and Gremlins was the Oppenheimer. I'm sure Christopher Nolan will be thrilled about that.
Ghostlands.
Ghostlands.
Grembusters is
Grembusters.
probably better.
That's a good one. And then if we really
Gremlins.
Grembusters. And then if we really want to get niche about it, the Super Mario Brothers movie of 1984 would be Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. So that's for all of our box office people. So this movie initially received some mixed... Starring Chris Pratt, exactly. So this movie initially received mixed reviews, but has since been praised due to its sort of B-level comedy horror vibes and the technology. It's grown very well with time. And this movie, along with Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, helped to inspire the PG-13 rating. This movie is rated PG. In today's day and age, this movie would not be rated PG at all. This is gross. Very, very gross. A sequel soon followed to this movie in 1990.
Cool. Thank you. All right. So, Ben, why don't you tell us your history with Gremlins?
This is one of those movies that like I knew existed, but I couldn't, and I knew kind of that it was about like weird little creatures. But that's really all. I didn't really even know the Christmas tie-in until pretty recently. I don't think it was just when we were trying to pick Christmas movies for the podcast. It wasn't that recent, but it was fairly recent where somebody brought up Gremlins as a Christmas movie, and I was like, Gremlins is a Christmas movie? Like, so it's one of those ones that it's not my vibe, so it's not one I was ever that curious about. It was one of those ones I just knew existed.
And what about you?
So I never saw Gremlins growing up, and the first time I watched this movie was 4 years ago on a plane from New Orleans to Washington, D.C. I'd never seen it before, was not familiar with the Christmas connection either. And it was one of those where, again, I saw the movie came out in June. I'm like, how could that be connected to Christmas? Oh. So, yeah, I never really cared for it much growing up. Only was a recent discovery.
All right. And somewhat similarly, I knew a few things about this movie. I knew 2 out of the 3 important rules, and I knew what some of the creatures looked like. But that's pretty much it. I didn't really know much else. So, and this is definitely one that I feel like I should have seen before this point in time, but I think, I don't know. I missed it somehow. So, Geoff, why don't you give us your score?
Weirdly enough, this movie to me is very comparable to Hocus Pocus in the sense that in Hocus Pocus, I only wanted to hang out with the Sanderson sisters. In this movie, I only want to hang out with the chaos-causing gremlins. These things are awesome and super funny and super cute. Well, Gizmo at least is super cute. Not the gremlins. I was about to say they're super cute. No, they're not. Gizmo's super cute. Humans couldn't care less about them. I'm sure they're necessary for plot advancement and whatever, but by the end of the movie, I'm just like, you're all okay. So ultimately, this movie is a 3.25 for me.
And what about you, Ben?
You know, this one is not my vibe. You know, I understand why people like it. It's just kind of weird for me. I didn't mind I felt like it was fine for what it is, but what it is not my kind of movie. So I didn't think it was like egregiously bad, but I was just not super into it. So I'm going to give it a 2.75.
Alrighty. And yeah, I think that this is definitely one of those movies that if you watch it when you're a kid or if you were watching it when it first came out, I can definitely see the appeal and why people really like this movie and rewatch it, and all of that. And I enjoyed it. But I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine. So I'm going to give it a 3. It's very aggressively fine.
Good way to describe it.
I think there's a lot of movies that really tread on nostalgia for people who saw it as kids, or
Mhm.
I think we've done quite a few of them on the podcast.
Yeah.
Where I think some of these people who are, treat this like one of the greatest movies of all time, if you were watching it for the first time in 2025, I don't know that you'd think that.
For sure.
Well, I don't think any of us think that.
Well, yeah, I'm saying to the people who do think that about a movie like Gremlins.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's fair.
Absolutely. I think it's, you know,
I also always conflated Gremlins and Goonies in my mind.
Gotcha.
I don't think they're that similar, but
No.
no, they're not.
as far as like things from the 80s that start with G that I've never seen.
That's that's about the similarities.
Yeah, I know.
That's about it. It's like maybe, I mean, I guess you could say like one character in the Goonies is unfairly could be looped in with like some of the creatures from Gremlins, but no, I wouldn't say they're that similar.
That's probably fair.
The Gremlins definitely worked for me though. They're so funny. It's one of those where they're all ridiculous and run around town and stuff. I laugh along with every second of the way with them. I was like, this is a blast.
They reminded me a
Watching
lot
them
of Furbies.
cause havoc.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Gizmo especially.
Yeah, especially Gizmo, which also then made me think of What We Do in the Shadows.
I would definitely not be surprised if Furbies were
That's
somehow
why he
modeled after
Yeah,
Gremlins.
I was wondering that too, because they're so similar.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Every way, like the voice, the face, the
Mhm.
design. Obviously, Furbies can't be as expressive as a movie prop, but yeah, would not be shocked whatsoever. I also didn't realize how successful this movie was at the box office. I see it, 20x return, the number 3 movie of its year. That's crazy. Never would have imagined that.
Mm-mm. Definitely not. But I will say, the Gremlins look really good for like 1984, you know.
I made that note too. I thought, yeah, it did not look like cheap or lame.
Yeah, I was reading a little bit into it, and I guess they were puppets mixed with some animatronics. So I think that that is probably, unlike Ghostbusters, which we discussed and saw some like pretty iffy CGI at points. I think it really saved them that they went the more practical route with the Gremlins. Could you imagine if they looked like the dog from Ghostbusters?
Oh.
It would be unwatchable.
Yeah, and that is such
Real tough.
a point for animatronics. Like any movie that uses animatronics holds up so much better than movies that use CGI from that time, or the equivalent of that, whatever it was called back then.
Absolutely.
There's a real fun cheesy appeal to it that they look so ridiculous and stuff, and you just are like, it was the times. It's no big
Yeah.
deal. And you can tell there was a lot of heart put into it, and the idea was in the right place. And as long as you got the idea in place, it almost doesn't matter the execution.
Right.
As long as you get it kind of close. And with this, I'm like, yeah, it just works.
And I feel like because they just announced Gremlins 3 like very recently.
Oh yeah.
Just I want to say like within the past week of when we're recording this, they announced Gremlins 3
Oh wow.
for 2027. I have a feeling it's going to be very CGI.
Would not be shocked.
Definitely not. When I was reading reviews on this one, I guess the second one is held in pretty high regards as well.
My wife said, who actually likes Gremlins quite a bit, she said I need to watch a second. She said she described it as a fever dream.
And this one wasn't?
I'm sold.
Well, I guess the second one, I believe she said a lot of it takes place in New York City.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say like in Gremlin Land. Wherever they're
all the gremlins that have hatched out of their cocoons are all migrating to Gremlin Land.
Some people might call New York City Gremlin Land.
When I hear fever dream,
that would not be me, but
it just makes me think of the ET ride at Universal, which has been referred to as a fever dream, which is Steven Spielberg's idea of E.T.'s homeland, and it truly is a trip. So that's why I'm like,
I've actually ridden that
It's
ride. That was there
horrifying.
when I went a long time
yeah,
ago.
it's one of the last standing
And
original rides.
I was gonna say it's like I went in 1996, and I think it might be the only ride that's still there that was there when I went.
Yeah, there's very
One of the
few.
only.
Yeah, very, very few. But yeah, that ride's truly a fever dream. And that's why I'm like, the Gremlins could have their own Gremlin land.
I've, it could be a new section of Universal.
I mean, let's not go that far.
You know the other movie that I felt like, and I apologize if I'm trampling on Jeff's recommendations at the end here, but you know what this totally made me think of was Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time.
Because I was like, it's like this weird
Oh,
little
I could see
monster who
it.
causes destruction.
yeah, that's fair.
Like, and I feel like, just like Furby's, Stitch has some similarities with Gremlins. It doesn't get as violent or as terrible, in Lilo and Stitch, but I feel like there's definitely some similarities to the early part of the movie.
Yeah, that's fair. I see your point.
I'm just picturing Stitch as Godzilla walking through the little downtown area. It's like the Gremlins just all migrating in mass into the city, just like so good.
So,
So Christmassy to start.
Oh,
First of all, they played my favorite Christmas song, Baby
which
Please Come
is?
Home.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
there you go. Yep,
So I'm very excited at the beginning.
that was good.
And then it definitely
Very
had like
good vibes.
yeah, a vibe, really good vibes.
I will say though,
And then everything went
And
horribly wrong.
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
And I said this last night when Jeff and I watched. It's like, it was just such an interesting choice to make this a Christmas movie or to make it happen around Christmas, because to me, this screams Halloween movie. Like it's got some, kiddie horror in it, and just everything about it is like, why did they make the choice to have this take place? You very easily could have made this, oh, the dad is giving the kid this present for his birthday or something. And like nothing else really like directly related to Christmas. So I definitely thought that was an interesting choice.
I have a theory.
Okay.
What's your theory?
I feel like it was intentional because I feel like they wanted the like horrorness of the Gremlins like against the very sweet Americana Christmas backdrop.
I believe it. I could see it.
Sure.
And also, it's a good way to sell Gremlin Christmas figurines ahead of the holidays, because this movie would probably be coming out on VHS around this time, around Christmas time. There you go.
Well,
Perfect.
I don't like it as a Christmas movie, and I will never see it as a Christmas movie. I would prefer to watch this during Halloween.
It's hard to make an argument though that it's not a Christmas movie though. I mean, I feel like as someone who stands, strong for Die Hard being a Christmas movie, this one is even more overtly. I mean, they're playing Christmas songs. There's
Yeah,
Christmas trees and
absolutely.
Christmas lights and snow and
Absolutely.
Gizmo is a Christmas present. The climax of the movie takes place on Christmas Eve in a very Christmassy town, unlike Die Hard, which is in Los Angeles, which I know Los Angeles can get Christmassy, but come on. So yeah, this is absolutely a Christmas movie to a T.
It is. I'm not
Not
going to
obvious,
refute that.
yeah, and
I
yeah.
just personally.
Also, this is a good reminder though to everybody watching this. This is what happens when you wait till the last minute to buy Christmas presents. You ruin your whole town. It comes out as demons and your whole town gets ruined. So, fair warning, everybody. Looking at all the men here.
as if we
Ben,
didn't
I know
already
you're
learn
always
from Jingle
prepared.
All the Way.
Right?
This is what happens when you let kids do things. Because none of this would have happened if that kid hadn't gone behind his grandpa's back.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
but it also was the dad bringing it back.
I mean, yeah, but also the kid. And then the subsequent kids that were like Billy, who, no, he didn't get Gizmo wet on purpose first, but then he's like, let me take him to my science teacher and put water on him again on purpose. So the teacher can do,
Let me torture my new
yeah, he can do
pet.
experiments on it. Like, dang.
Horrible pet
Yeah,
ownership
I'd
there.
take revenge on the town too.
Yeah. Seriously, Gizmo deserved better. Gizmo just wanted to like cuddle up upstairs and sing and watch TV with Barney. That was it.
Gizmo was
That's all
very
Gizmo
cute.
wanted.
I would die for him. He was
was.
incredible.
Who was the other creature you really, really loved in another movie? Oh, the
Toothless?
dragon and How to Train. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would you
Toothless.
rather have as a pet?
That's tough. Because Gizmo's got the pro that he's small and cuddly and fuzzy. But I mean, Toothless can fly, so that's pretty sweet.
And also, you don't need to be as careful with Toothless.
There's more
True.
rules. with
Toothless
Gizmo.
can handle himself.
True.
Yeah. You can't see anything. You have to turn off all your lights when you have Gizmo around. You gotta be really careful around with the food situation, the water situation.
Yep.
You never know what can happen. Toothless is just like, opa deepa dope. I'm just gonna walk through here and whatever. And yeah, okay, he's big. No big deal.
No, it's very true. You make solid points.
But I mean, but Gizmo can sing. Gizmo has perfect pitch. So
it's a great reason.
great reason. If you find some way to exploit that without torturing the animal. Right?
Sure.
Can I ask a question about some gremlin logic?
We probably won't have answers, but yeah.
So
zero answers, but we'll try our best.
You can't feed the gremlins after midnight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until when?
Yes.
When can you start feeding again? Daylight? Morning? 8 a.m.?
Nobody knows, Ben.
Well, that's a very dangerous road to go down.
I know.
Really is.
Well, here was my question is, so once like Gizmo, spawned, and then those ones ate food, right? And then they turned into like the lizardy gremlins. And then what was his name? Spike? No, not Spike.
No, it was
was it?
Spike, I think.
No, it was
Because he had his hair spiked up.
okay, whatever. So the leader, gremlin, right, jumped in the pool and he multiplied. But then after that, a lot of those gremlins got wet and nothing happened. And they were also eating a lot and nothing happened. So I was like, is it just a one and done deal? Like once you have spawned off, like that's it. And once you've eaten after midnight, like that's it.
Yeah, and then they're walking around on snow, which is water. And the ending fight scene in the movie when Billy and Spike are at odds, Spike stands on a running water fountain, and is certainly getting splashed on, so he's fine, but the sunlight still kills him. So the rules situation, the logic situation just does not check out at all throughout this movie. It just turns off eventually at some point.
Oh, his name's Stripe.
Stripe.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
No, I was like, I know that's not it, but it's very close.
Stripe. Okay. I won't forget it now.
Yeah. So can we talk about like this lady at the beginning of the movie who's like the worst person in the world? The lady who wanted to like kill his dog.
Deagle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mrs. Deagle. The real estate
It was literally
baron.
like the Wizard of Oz. Like she's like, I'll get your dog.
Also, though I will say she is kind of a boss for having office hours only be Monday through Friday, 10:30 to 11:15. One of my favorite details in the movie is they show her office before she gets shot out of a window down her little stair chute as the little sign outside of her house says her hours. And I'm like, oh, you only work 45 minutes a day and you probably control a large chunk of the real estate in this town. So you're doing just fine.
You know why she only works 45 minutes a day, so that no one can ever come complain to her.
This is fair. That's true. And they'd all get met with some secretary or whatever and not actually see her.
She's doing it because she's the worst. Seriously.
The worst.
I mean, I get, like, you can be upset that the dog broke your snowman thing, but she's like I'm gonna throw the
Mhm.
dog in my dryer on high heat until it's dead? Like, what's the matter with you? I was happy to see her die.
Dogs had a tough time in this movie.
Yeah.
Dead. They're struggling.
Yeah.
Poor Barney getting
Wrapped
strung
up in
up
those
on
lights. Although,
lights.
dang, I miss those big lights. My grandma used to have those on her tree. Oh, those look
right.
so good. I mean, they were like the hottest things ever. I remember touching them like as a kid, and they were definitely like real dangerous. But boy, they looked
I
good.
can tell you a place where you can buy light bulbs that look just like that.
I I have bought some LEDs that are bigger.
Okay, but they're like they're made to look like vintage light bulbs, but they are like the LED ones, so they don't get hot at all. They're
Where is
expensive.
that?
Um,
Yeah, where?
it's called True. I was literally just looking at it because I really want to buy
True
some.
Christmas.
No, it's
True
called True
Christmas.
Tone.
Okay.
True Tone
True
lights.
Tone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways.
No
Yeah.
free
The
ads.
website
What? Yeah, there's a website.
or at the store?
Oh, no, you have to buy it online.
Okay.
They're super expensive. You're gonna look at it and be like, no. But I really want them. They look incredible.
They are getting, I feel like in general, Christmas LEDs are getting better in terms of how they look.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
for a while they were like a real downgrade.
Yeah. All right, back to this movie.
Sorry.
No, you're kidding.
No more free ads. Outside of the ad for Burger King randomly at the beginning of this movie as we're walking through the town.
Yes. Yes. Good old classic Burger King.
Geoff, when you post about this on social, make sure to tag True Tone.
Got it. Get their handles ready
Yeah,
to
you
go.
know, I mean, why not, right? You got to shoot your shot. Um,
Wait, I'm sorry. Are they $14 a bulb?
Ben, oh, talk about that
I'm on the
part.
website.
Talk about that part.
That's insane.
I told you they were expensive. Geoff, don't tag.
I don't miss lights that much.
We just learned nostalgia has a price. Oh. Yeah, it's it's
They are very vintage looking. The whole site is very vintage
I
looking.
know, I love it.
You could get 10 lights for $30.
Wait, is that just the bulbs or the complete set?
That's the set.
Okay, because they do sell the bulbs separately, so you can just buy your own
Yeah.
string.
But 10 lights is not going to get you very far on your Christmas tree.
No,
No.
but they do have a handy dandy tool on their website that because their light bulbs are spaced, I think 12 inches apart. So they tell you like, oh, if you're doing this far of your house, like this is how many lights you would need, and I don't know. It's nifty.
I do like the what's the word? The like aesthetic of the site.
Yes.
Very
Good
cool.
job.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. This was sponsored by True Tone.
To give you that 1984 Christmas feeling.
Just like Ben's grandma's house. Which amazing in hindsight didn't burn down.
It'll only cost you an arm and a leg.
It's like in A Christmas Story when they plug the thing in and the light socket sparks and all the lights go out.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then like also back in the day, like when one bulb went bad and you had to like test every single bulb
Yeah.
individually.
Yep.
Good times.
Torture.
Good times.
Now we just throw that string away and go get a new one.
Yay.
All right. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Got very sidetracked there. I felt okay. Here's a real question about the movie though. That's not about the lights. What? Okay. Do you feel like this movie was more horror or more comedy?
Comedy.
Comedy.
Okay. I agree, I think, but I did feel like tonally it was kind of all over the place at times. Like one minute like the Gremlins are driving the snowplow and it looks ridiculous and very clearly played for laughs. But then like some of the stuff with like the mom like felt like a kind of true horror movie. Like weren't super much played
Right?
for laughs.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. That whole suspense sequence with her is a great sequence as we find out about the different gremlins and then the ones escaping. Like it's a great, well executed sequence for as cheesy as it is. The
Um,
use of shadow there, very,
Uh-huh.
very
She
effective.
was incredible for actually murdering a few of those gremlins. Like, I was expecting
Right?
her to just be like kind of like, the dumb woman in the horror movie that's like, ah, and didn't do anything. But I mean, she blended one, she microwaved one, I think she slit one open. I was like, okay. Like, that was awesome. I loved
Yeah.
that.
The the microwave death was pretty metal. That was crazy. I was not ready for that. I was like, "Oh, you're out for blood." And I love
It'd
it.
be interesting to do a remake from the Gremlins perspective.
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to have a
This
good
terrifying
time.
woman is putting my sister in a blender.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was gonna say the mom, Lynn Peltzer, just having to deal with her husband's shenanigans of, all having to use his really not great inventions and having to deal with the dog that she probably didn't want and now this new pet that she probably didn't want. She just wanted to bake cookies and watch sad Christmas movies every day. That's all she wanted. And now she's got to go kill some gremlins and deal with her husband's crap. So, yeah, she was low key an MVP of this
She
movie.
was. She was a very gracious mother considering all she had to deal with.
Don't you hate
Mhm.
it when you want to just sit at home and read your
The
book by the
worst.
Oh,
fireplace and a bunch of gremlins show up?
the worst. Can't even. Day's ruined.
In terms of the tone, like that girl was talking about people slitting their wrists, and then she told that bizarre story about her dad trying to be Santa Claus and dying in the chimney. And I was like, what's happening?
Was very confused at those parts. I was like, "Oh my gosh, you hate Christmas, but to like an extreme level." And I don't know if it's necessary in this movie,
Yeah.
but all
That was
right,
it was a choice. It was a choice.
It
was
did feel like an unnecessary
Yeah.
character detail.
unless they wanted to use that as a motivating factor for her to be working on Christmas Eve. But outside of that, I don't I don't know why that was even necessary. But yeah, that was some
Yeah.
crazy line readings there. Also, the inclusion of the super racist neighbor and snowplow driver,
Yeah.
not great.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Were they the ones with that awful pink Christmas tree?
yes. No, I thought they had a silver tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
There's one that had like a pink Christmas
The
tree, and I was
people that
like, well,
got
they
hit with
deserve
the snowplow,
anything that
right?
comes to them for that
They
awful tree.
deserve the
Yeah,
worst.
yeah, that was them.
Yeah, the snowplow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I
Yeah.
did read that this movie was supposed to be much darker than it was. But then they decided to change some stuff, cut some stuff. So I don't.
Yeah, the Steven Spielberg magic came in. This is why Steven Spielberg was a producer. Be like, listen, I know how to make these big movies, especially with ugly creatures in these movies. Sorry, E.T., you're kind of creepy, but I know what I'm doing. So
Yeah,
take these
pretty
notes.
much.
It does make me wonder if the new like Gremlins 3, like, well, and I don't really know the tone of Gremlins 2 either, but will Gremlins 3, I feel like they're going to lean into like the campy comedy side more than the true scary side, if I had to
I feel like
guess.
you have to. Yeah, I feel like you have to.
Because I feel like that's
Mhm.
what Gremlins has become
Yeah,
to
for
people.
sure.
Hmm. But guaranteed they are going to be like little CGI freaks,
Oh, yeah.
not some stop motion
It would be fun if they weren't.
figurines. It would be fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold out hope. I know I'll be disappointed, but I'll hold out hope.
Yeah. Can we talk about how fun it was when all the gremlins went to the movie theater?
I wrote that down too. I loved that.
That
When they
was
were all
like
So
singing Hi
funny.
Ho.
the most
So
fun
good.
thing. I'm actually really surprised.
I know. I was like, I wish this movie was more like this scene.
I'm really
Right?
surprised they like got the okay to use that in their movie. I don't know.
I think Disney was a little
Yeah,
less litigious in the
I guess
80s.
so, but that was just incredible.
It was crazy.
I love that.
Me too. Absolutely. Yeah, that's also like my worst nightmare as a moviegoer, unless it is an Alamo Drafthouse party, in which case
Gremlins
totally fine for
singing
those
along.
vibes. Yeah, that's fine.
I have, despite not really knowing the movie before, I have called my class Gremlins before. And I feel like after seeing the movie, I stand by
You're
it.
like, I wasn't wrong. But which gremlin are they? Well, that's the thing. Is Gizmo technically a gremlin, or are they only gremlins after they spawn?
Oh,
Like a
'Cause I
caterpillar
know they're
butterfly sort of
mogwais.
thing, where a butterfly isn't really a
Yeah. So
caterpillar,
I guess
right?
technically they're still mogwais after they spawn. But I feel
according,
like no one really referred to Gizmo as a gremlin.
according to Google AI, which is never wrong, um,
Never.
Gizmo is not a gremlin. He is a mogwai.
Never.
Okay, so they're only gremlins
Yeah.
in the
All right.
green.
So all
Unless
all
they're all
gremlins are mogwai,
unless
but
they're
not all
all
mogwai are gremlins.
mogwais. There you go. Or or it's just the namesake given to them because of that racist neighbor who said that foreign manufacturing companies were hiding quote unquote gremlins in
Wait, but
their auto
apparently that's a
parts
real
or
thing.
whatever. And that name just kind of stuck around the
Apparently
town.
that's a real, like in World
Wait, for
War
real?
II, they called like I googled
Yeah, there
it. They
was.
called
I
like
did see
hidden
something like
parts or something like gremlins. So like that whole thing that he was talking about was an
Oh, okay.
actual thing that happened in history. Not saying that it's not racist, but
Fair enough.
that's something that did actually happen. So a gremlin could be either that or the green little monster. I'm down
Oh,
with the gremlins as long as they're like not trying to kill people.
like I, Amanda,
Like
stand with gremlins.
like if they were just little like chaos monsters, and like just trying to have a good time and causing some chaos,
it's
I would be
Stitch.
like really down with them, but then they like kill people.
It's Stitch, just like Ben said. It's yeah,
Yeah.
until they kill
And
people.
again, I
Exactly.
can forgive them for killing Miss
It's tough.
Deagle.
I am happy. I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit. Speaking of kind of the Mogwai gremlin creature, whatever, I am very happy they took Gizmo away from Billy. Because as proof throughout this movie, Billy was a really bad pet dad. He's trapping Barney at work during the day. Maybe Barney's got nowhere to go, but like it didn't seem like his mom was out. His dad's doing stuff like Barney could have just stayed at home unless he was causing trouble, but
Okay.
who knows?
Anyway, I'm ready.
He's actively torturing Gizmo. He's giving him to a teacher slash scientist who's actively torturing animals, and the syringe to draw out the blood from that one mogwai that the scientist had in his cage, that's very unnecessary. Just not good. Not good ownership. Not very careful ownership. Makes makes me look like a saint with my dog and cat. And I'm not. This movie also watching this movie reminded me that the Letterboxd app has a really fun Easter egg with this movie. So for some entries in the Letterboxd app, when you log a movie or go to a certain movie's page, it'll have like really fun things that can come up when they time with the movie. For example, if you go to the Groundhog Day page in Letterboxd and then try to back out, it'll take you back to the Groundhog Day page. And you kind of get stuck in a little loop because guess what? You
That's
can't
funny.
escape. So with Gremlins, with the Letterboxd app, it's a fun surprise. But if after midnight, until I'm not sure which time, but after midnight, if you shake your phone and you have Letterboxd up, a gremlin will pop up. Like just out of the blue. We'll be like, "Ah!" And I know for me, like I've definitely been like laying down, looking up at my phone after midnight and like typing out a text and like my phone will slip and I'll look up and all of a sudden I'll see a gremlin on my screen and be like, ah. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's fun. So shout out Letterboxd.
I like that.
Let's go to Easter egg.
I just had one other thing I wrote down, which is, do you think this happens all the time in movies? It happened in this movie. Do people actually sing as they come home from work?
Oh, like the dad when he like got in the
Like, do you
house.
think anybody actually does that? Yeah,
Uh,
the dad does it at the beginning of the movie. Like that feels like a
yeah.
very
I
TV
mean,
and
I
movies
could
thing.
see somebody like
Like,
I've done this before where, you know, you're like driving home and a song is playing and then you're like kind of still singing it when you like walk into the house, but definitely not in the way that he was doing it of like, I'm home and I'm gonna sing this song because I'm so joyful about being home and
yeah. I mean, maybe like
yeah,
singing to yourself. Like, I don't know, but just like singing
yeah,
as you
no,
walk through the door. Like, nobody I've ever been
no.
around has done that.
You should start.
There's always like things that are like just much more prominent in TV and movies, and that's I feel like
Right.
one of those little
Definitely,
things.
especially older TV
Yeah.
and movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our way of communicating. This character is fun. He's gonna walk into the door. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. Speaking of the dad, I don't think he's a great inventor. I don't know if I'd want any of his inventions or even the drafts of his inventions. One of my notes early on in the movie was to ask you both, would you want a bathroom buddy? And I think the answer is probably no. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of his inventions. I mean, let's go with a B for effort and creativity, but not the best execution. And I'm not sure
No.
that's the greatest
I think the
moneymaker in the
bathroom
world.
buddy would have been better if the stuff actually came out of the block. But you could just like lift it up like a Swiss
Yes.
Army knife. And I'm like, how are you supposed to brush your teeth when you've got this gigantic block on the end of your toothbrush? The things should be able to come out and then like snap back
Mhm.
in. That would make it better, in my opinion.
Right. Like I'm not shaving my face with a razor, holding onto this block and using it. Like I need precise control as I'm using this thing.
Yeah.
It's not safe.
Plus, let's not forget the toothpaste squirter, which I don't think he ever got that under control. So,
Nope. Most certainly did not. Same with the shaving cream thing, as Billy proved.
yep.
And his other inventions in the kitchen, the juicer, the egg cracker, just not great. Whatever sludge was coming out of the juicer, I'm like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's real gross.
He was trying.
Yeah. I don't
It's
really
fair.
know how they have any money because it appears the mother works at home. Well, no, actually, that's true. The very mean woman, Mrs. Deagle, made a comment about how Billy probably makes all the family's money at his bank job,
Oh yeah.
which him and that girl, I feel like were very young to be working at a bank.
I thought that too. I was like, I feel like I've never seen anybody super
And that
young
other
working
guy
at a
was like,
bank.
I'm a junior
No.
VP at 23 and I'll probably have my boss's job by 25. And I'm like, what?
This
Yeah, but
This
this
was
was a
another
generation
note I
that used to be
had.
able to buy houses, Amanda.
Fair.
I was gonna ask about this with Gerald's character or Jerry's character, or however he was called in this movie. Who does he know? Who on the management staff does he know at that bank to get the junior VP job at
His
23
daddy.
in this small
Somebody.
town? I gotta think that in this small town, the same people have been working that bank for
Mhm.
20 plus
Yeah.
years. So how he can just slide in there and be a junior VP has gotta have some connections that
Definitely.
we don't know about. He should have died. The Gremlins should
Maybe they
have
did.
taken him
We
out.
don't know. We don't know about all the gremlin
That's fair.
casualties.
We just get one scene of them causing chaos to every human being in like the town square, and then a few minutes later, the town square is just gone and dead.
All right, Geoff, are you ready to give us some movie recommendations?
I am. So I am gonna start with, let's go with the Joe Dante of it all. And I'm going to recommend a movie in his filmography that I think is kind of similar to this one, and it's Small Soldiers, which came out in 1998, where, guess what? Toy soldiers come to life, causing some chaos. And I think fits the Gremlins kind of vibe with the animatronic sort of deal with these characters. So Small Soldiers is probably the movie in his filmography that ties in the closest to this. I'm also going to recommend a kind of creepy body horror movie that is not PG, very much not, that I think plays along with the idea of things popping out of bodies and creating new things. And that would be David Cronenberg's The Brood, which I just watched for the first time earlier this year, which is lovely allegory to parenthood. And it's very, very creepy, very scary demon children running around that movie, but it's quite successful. I think it's pretty good and pretty like scary. And then the third movie, gotta recommend a Christmas movie. Gotta throw a Christmas movie on the list. And the Christmas movie I thought of that closely ties to this is Krampus, which came out probably about 10 or so years ago, starring Adam Scott and Toni Collette, where guess what? Krampus comes to kill a naughty family. And it's fun. It's a fun, it's not necessarily quote unquote good, but it's a fun movie, that's for sure. With some really creepy effects, with some that you can laugh along with, but definitely falls more in the horror than comedy category.
All right, thank you. Ben, what are our TV recommendations?
I struggled to come up with TV recommendations to match Gremlins here. I thought about maybe Deal or No Deal, since our boy Howie Mandel is the voice
Yes.
of Gizmo. But but which, by the way, Howie Mandel is famously
No, absolutely not.
germaphobe, and I don't think he'd care for the Gremlins very much or
Mm-mm.
Gizmo. No, but I only came up with one,
That's a
but I
good.
feel pretty happy with it. As far as a choice, I am recommending Real Monsters,
Yeah, I used to
Good
love that
one.
show.
which of course was a Nicktoon back in the Nicktoon heyday. I actually remember the night it premiered. Like, it was a big deal because I'd just gotten into Doug and Rugrats, and then this was like a brand new Nicktoon that was like a huge deal when it first came out. And I never actually got super into it, not like some of the other Nicktoons, but little
Yeah,
monsters kind of roaming around
absolutely.
kind of fits.
Well, thank you for your recommendation. Alrighty. So, as I mentioned at the top, we are doing our top 4 midnight snacks in honor of the gremlins who should not be eating midnight snacks, but do. And so, Geoff, why don't you give us your list first?
Sure thing. So I do want to just note a couple of things before I give my list. Number one, the rules for the Mogwais, no bright sunlight, no bright light, no water, and no feeding after midnight. You know what? Honestly, even not really with the water one, but solid rules. Even as, if you want to just have a day where you just don't want to do anything, they're all pretty good rules to have in your book. I'm also someone that doesn't eat a lot after midnight because usually nothing good happens after midnight. But you know what? Sometimes my sometimes my desires get the better of me. So I'll admit I don't eat a ton after midnight. So this list is from a time earlier on per se. So maybe a few years ago, right around the time maybe I met Amanda initially. So we're gonna try here, but let's see. Some of my honorable mentions here. My honorable mentions include egg drop ramen soup, where I used to start to make like a little thing of ramen noodles, and then I would crack some eggs and throw them into the soup. Those were always pretty good. And I am gonna also say just pizza in general. Just it's a good one. Like if I'm out and I walk by pizza, I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty good one. So number 4 is Taco Bell. The only time I ever really want Taco Bell is after midnight. I don't know what it is. I say in my heart of hearts, I'm like, yeah, I could go for some Taco Bell, like if I'm debating between different fast food options. But truth be told, I only really ever want Taco Bell between the hours of midnight and like 2 a.m., which, again, probably not the best time to be eating Taco Bell, but you know what? It tastes really darn good around them. That's very, very true.
Is
That's a
there a
good
great
point.
time to eat Taco Bell?
I would say my go-to at that time would probably be either a Doritos Locos Tacos or a beef and cheese burrito. Just nothing crazy. Just it'll get the job done.
Did you see they now have a Baja Blast pie?
That's horrifying.
That's like the darkest timeline.
It's a horrifying stuff. Oh my gosh. Number 3, I've got ice cream. I love ice cream, and I feel like if I haven't had much to say drink, but it gets to be around midnight, I'm still craving something, it's probably going to be something sweet. So I know for us, after this podcast, I'm definitely going to get some ice cream, even though it's not midnight. So, but I think it would be a really good one to have. If I had a go-to flavor at that time, I'd probably go with like a strawberry or a cookies and cream kind of deal. Real basic, real safe. Number 2, I put microwave nachos, which is when you just take a plate, you throw some like Tostitos on there, and then you sprinkle some cheese, and then you nuke it. Delicious. Delicious, delicious stuff. And then you can mix in some salsa or whatever. It's real good. And then my number 1, pretty easy number 1 for me, and I think Amanda might have the same number 1 as me. It is a calzone from Zonies/Calios, the GOAT late night snack. The only time Zonies or Calios works is after midnight and before 4 a.m., which is last call in our neck of the woods. But yeah, it is delicious and divine. And
I'd like
yeah,
I'd like to make an argument that they never work. Not even after midnight.
you know,
No, they work.
you can argue your argument is going to be invalid, but they work. But I will say, I will meet you halfway and say I'll eat half of one before midnight or after midnight, if the other half will get saved for the next day. That's my list.
I was with you on your list until that number 1, Geoff.
Whatever.
Good list, Geoff.
Thanks, Amanda, for the support. I appreciate it. And thank you, Ben, for being with me 3/4 of the way.
All right, Ben, let's hear your list.
All right. So similar to Geoff, I try not to eat much at night anymore, but I was a big time late night snacker for a long time. So I have a vast history to make a top 4 here, but I'm just not currently doing that anymore.
Yay, health and as we get older. Yay, health as we get older.
That's right. And it also, yeah, that's the thing. Like I want to make healthier choices, and also like it didn't used to make me feel bad the next morning. So, a combination of desire and just, natural aging, I guess, because it just isn't as appealing as it used to be. But anyway, I was a time late night snacker for many years. My honorable mention I didn't put because it was more of like a 10 p.m. snack. When I was in high school and maybe even middle school, my mom would always make me cinnamon toast and like tea, and it was always just like a really good, late night kind of thing. So that's that. That's the honorable mention. My number 4 is fruit. I am not generally a sweets late at night person. If I'm going to have something that's generally going to be salty, but sometimes like more of in the citrus family of fruits, like an orange or something like that can really hit the spot. Like if maybe you had like a salty dinner kind of thing or something like that. And so that's number 4. Number 3 is this was my other go-to late night snack in high school and into college when I was home, was one of those big pretzels, like the Snyder pretzels, like the large ones, and chocolate milk. Chocolate milk goes with everything. I still stand by that statement. And so I would always often make myself a glass of chocolate milk and get one of those large pretzels and eat it while I was watching TV when I am at my parents' house on school break or things like that. Two is cold pizza and breadsticks. Um, that's one that's still super tempting, even though I try not to eat it at night that much anymore. But if I'm opening the fridge and there's cold pizza and breadsticks in there, it's gonna be real hard to not take a piece. Sometimes it's better than when you have it for dinner. And then number one, I truthfully, if I was gonna have a snack now at the night, it would be more likely to be something like breadsticks or something like that because that still sounds super good. But I had to put this at number one because when I was a kid, again, more like a teen into college age, when I was home kind of thing, if I didn't have my pretzel and chocolate milk, I would do this. I would fill up a bowl of of tortilla chips and croutons, and I would bring it up to bed with me, and I would eat tortilla chips and croutons in bed.
I have so many questions.
I wish people could see Geoff and Amanda's face right now. Listen,
Bravo.
Just real talk right now. I'm just being honest. I'm not saying I do it now. You could ask my wife. I don't do it now. I don't bring croutons and tortilla chips to bed, but I used to fill up like a bowl of half tortilla chips, half croutons, and take it to bed with me. So I felt like that had to be number one because it was just such a ritual of mine. I didn't do it every single night, but it was something I did on the regular.
So two things.
Yes, Geoff.
Two things. One,
I still stand by snacking like with croutons, by the way.
No,
just
that's
not
fair.
At midnight in bed anymore.
Okay, that I agree with that. Grabbing croutons if we're making salads, like, yeah, I'll grab a crouton out of the bag. Whatever. I like a nice little treat. Number one,
Yeah.
proud of you for saying true to yourself. That's always I'm proud of you because yeah, I don't know if I would have
Geoff, I
necessarily
have to be
admitted
me
that.
on this podcast.
You
I
do.
can't be somebody fake.
You absolutely do. And then number two, did you have water to accompany that? Because I feel like if I had a bowl of tortilla chips and croutons, my mouth is like the desert at that point.
You know what? That is a great question. I feel like I was one of those standard millennials who never drank water. Like
I didn't
you know
either.
how, like,
So
kids in school have water.
right.
Yeah, they all have water bottles now, like all ages, whether you're like a first grader or a senior, you have water bottle at school. I have a water bottle at school. I carry it around with me.
Mhm.
I certainly now am much more likely to drink a cold glass of water at midnight than eat food. But truthfully, I don't think I did have water with me with those croutons and tortillas, which sounds horrible, but I don't think I did. And I think I just never really drank water back then.
You probably had a big old glass of chocolate milk.
Right.
That might be true. That might be true.
You're like,
Makes you just think if like big water is just controlling us now because like nobody seemed to need a lot of water back in the 2000s and the 90s.
I mean,
Did we just
someone
become a
has to be
conspiracy
controlling
theory
us.
podcast?
Big Milk was controlling us back then.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
it's
that's
big
true.
water.
That is true.
So.
Now it's big water. But yeah, no, you know, yeah, like a 1,000 times now if I brought croutons and tortilla chips to bed, they would 100 times out of 100 include a cold glass of water.
Ben, I
So
think you should serve that at your next party. Just a big bowl
maybe I
of
should
that.
just start doing it and see if Becca notices. Like I just start bringing croutons.
You know, I feel like that's something a wife would notice.
She wouldn't question it night one. Night two,
Yep.
yeah.
Just be like, go listen to the podcast, honey. Then you'll understand. All right. Well, good list. I guess. No, some good items on your list. All right. So a couple of mine have already been said. I will say, similarly to Geoff and Ben, I do not snack at midnight. I've never really been a midnight snacker because I have always been an old woman and have enjoyed going to bed on the earlier side. So I'm usually fast asleep at midnight or later. So usually the only time I'm eating midnight snacks is if I have been up imbibing in some beverages. So
What
that
kind of
said,
beverages, Amanda?
just some that make you hungry. Um, So I have 2 honorable mentions. So
I'm
the
shocked
first
that it
is
was only in your
Zonies,
honorable
as
mention.
Geoff mentioned. I know it just made it on the honorable mention list.
I'm proud of you, Amanda. Proud of you.
I mean, they're delicious. They're truly delicious. But I was kind of thinking like more at home for this. Like if I was going into my fridge or my
That's fair.
cupboard, like what would I be snacking on? But I had to include it because that is usually one of the only things I eat after midnight. Either that or like some McDonald's chicken nuggies. So, my second honorable mention is something that this is kind of like your tortilla chips and croutons, Ben. I haven't actually eaten this since I was probably like in elementary school, but a kid that lived across the street from me was my best friend, and we made up these sandwiches that we loved to eat. And it was basically a peanut butter sandwich that we sprinkled chocolate chips, drizzled honey and chocolate sauce in it, and ate them. And they were delicious. I think it would still be
It
delicious.
sounds delicious.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
peanut butter and chocolate go together. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think sometimes we put some fluff in there too. I could be wrong. I don't think fluff was something my mom carried often in the house. So, anyways, those are my honorable mentions. On to my list. So, my number 4 is ice cream because if you couldn't tell from that sandwich creation, I enjoy sweets. And so I'm definitely going to be grabbing for some ice cream. Number 3 is a quesadilla. I don't know why. That just sounds really good to eat at midnight. I cer yeah. I certainly don't want to make one myself at midnight, but if you're just offering me a quesadilla, that sounds delish. Um, yeah, yeah. It's got some protein. Yeah, I'm with it. Number 2 is like some charcuterie. I would love some cheese slices and crackers, a little meat, and that also again is something that if you have it at your house, you can just easily go into the fridge and get that and be all set. And then my number 1 is the cold pizza. I really feel like you cannot beat a slice of cold pizza, whether it's at midnight or any time of day. It's so good. You're wrong. I mean, hot pizza's delicious when you're, like, eating pizza for dinner. Yeah, yeah, but if it's leftovers, it's gotta be cold. Come fight us. I don't know. I think some people really don't like cold pizza. Yeah, yeah. We are we are united in this front. Although I will say, on very rare occasion, I have had pizza that doesn't taste very good when it's cold. And so if it's a pizza that I don't know about, I will take a bite of it cold and be like, does this pass the test? Is this good cold pizza or do I need to actually heat it up? So, yeah. Yeah, sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens. Alrighty. Well, that brings us to the end of our Gremlins episode. If you would like to watch along with us, we will be watching Christmas with the Cranks next week to continue our holiday rollout. So be sure to watch along and tune in. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a rating or review and follow us on all our social channels. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see y'all next week.
To infinity and beyond!
Why so serious?
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.